Yeah.
Now everything I'm just stressed out and want it done.
Mm-hmm.
It's not fun anymore. Well, I'm sure many of you guys are familiar with this car, but if you're not, let me fill you in. This is a 1987 Honda Prelude 2-liter SI. Second gen Prelude, so not four-wheel steering, single cam, A20, non-VTEC, 4-cylinder, fuel injected, 5-speed manual, amazing car. I bought my mom this car for Christmas last year, and just a couple months into her ownership, a lady ran a stop sign and caused the damage that you saw on the front. This thing was straight as could be, and an excessively clean example for the fact that it has 268,000 miles on it. After the accident, my mom drove it home. My dad jump started it, and it started but then wouldn't run again. We found that it had blown the strip fuse, the main fuse in the fuse box. But my mom already has another car. She has a 350Z now. I know, the come up, it's crazy. She told me that since I paid for this car, I was welcome to sell it and keep the money and pay some bills and yada yada yada. Now, I could do that, and I even had a buyer lined up to just take it for $400. And he's like, it's a B series, right? And I was like, no, it sure isn't. It's a second gen, it's an A series. There's no aftermarket for the A series whatsoever. So it's not a super desirable engine, but it's a good one nonetheless. Sounds pretty cool, it gives decent fuel economy. You know, the works, the Honda stuff. Genius me decided, instead of paying off debt and just letting this car go, I'm gonna hang on to it. I said it in the Steve video that we just haven't been doing things that are fun on my channel anymore. The Scotty Kilmer impression, restoring the Audi's headlights, that's exactly the kind of thing I really enjoy doing. And I really want the channel to be a big part of my life, as big as it used to be. But the projects that I have are so time consuming and so complex, so much more so than just putting eBay lowering springs on an Accord or painting the wheels blue or covering the fender in Pokemon cards. We're building forged bottom ends and doing CD009 transmission swaps, engine harnesses, building a forged engine for my Rabbit. A lot of stuff that takes a lot of money that I don't have. But there's always a part of me, for how much I don't want to be a Honda enthusiast per se, there's always a part of me that's a little bit upset when I don't have an old Honda around. My little cousin drives the Integra, and I see it all the time, and I always want it back. And I had this thing listed for sale for $900, We got it running. I fixed the fuse, jerry rigged it actually. Not so bad. There's still a fuse there. I just didn't want to pay $9 and wait 4 days to get the weird metal strip one. So I made myself a fuse holder, and there's a 60 amp fuse in there. It's fine. It took me driving to the gas station and back to go, this would be kind of fun to do Honda stuff with. And then I was looking it up, and there's no real aftermarket suspension really. I mean, real suspension. There is incredibly expensive aftermarket suspension. There's no cheap Hot Boy suspension. There's no Max Peating rods, no Raceland for this car, and I believe it has something to do with the rear suspension setup, which I haven't even looked into. But there are people that have made it work. So welcome back to Honda content, guys. I know it's getting kind of dark. I spent way too much time filming that whole intro you just watched, so hopefully it was good. But yeah, we're gonna hang on to the Prelude. We're gonna do some Honda stuff. Preludes were built on the Accord chassis, so it's not a far cry from where this all started. There's just something super satisfying about an old Honda, especially a sporty one like the Integra or Prelude SI. It's just a good time. You get to use all the RPMs you could ever want and still be within the speed limit for the most part. And I don't know, it's just good. It's just very satisfying. You don't have to be that nice to it, and it's just gonna keep working. So yeah, this one's wrecked. It's unfortunate. I don't really have plans to repair the front end. More so we'll just kind of go from where we've got it, like we did with my first Honda, you'll recall, had very large crash damage on the passenger side. So again, not a far cry from where we started. I just need to know what you guys want to see done to this. Obviously, exhaust stuff and suspension. I'd like to get some cool wheels for it. If we can figure out how to lower it, it would be cool to take this to Stance Wars, because the Corolla was a really fun build. I only had that car for like a month and a half, and we really only did the stuff to it for a week and then took it to Vegas and I had to sell it. It's so slow, but it sounds like it's trying so hard. Why do all old Hondas smell the same? You know, you get in a Honda and it's like, boom. It's kind of like old Volkswagens smell like crayons, I guess. So yeah, tell me what you guys want to see. And eventually, maybe if it gets enough attention and people are enjoying it enough and it's fiscally responsible, we can look into fixing the front end or putting a B series in it. A B18, B1 out of an Integra. You can get those all day for nothing. And they take boost pretty well. And, you know, things like that would be super, super fun to work on down the road. For now, this is kind of a fun, entertaining little distraction while I try and get money together to do the big projects. And there's a lot of stuff that's not money related that's, you know, holding us up, and not having a shop. And the Rabbit, I really can't give you a good excuse. I'm just afraid of ruining that engine because there's a lot of money put into it. And it's going to be a lot of work. There's a lot left to go on that. It's a lot more than just getting the engine together and putting it in the car. We still have to do an entire fuel system, build the harness for the micro squirt. We got to put it in my fuel rail because it's not an EFI car. Luckily, the mechanical injection pumps are actually really high flow rate, and that's actually kind of the preferred thing with Volkswagen people when they do Mega Squirt, is the CIS mechanical pumps, and that's what I have in the car already. So we can go from there, but I have to run new lines. I have a billet fuel rail for it, injectors, we have to situate a tune, a base map, getting it situated entirely, and the suspension it's on is ass. There's a lot to do on the Rabbit, and I think a lot of people don't understand that just having the engine done is not going to push that project to being almost done. It's kind of like the Volvo. The engine and transmission are in that car. It's close. I won't even lie about that one, but it's sitting out in the cold and we don't have access to the shop. I need to situate the oil feed and return. Hopefully you guys can still see me all right. I don't know what the ISO is at. It should be auto. It should be okay. I got to fill the transmission up, do all the fluids on the Volvo. We got to set up the intercooler and the intake system. We got to get a drive shaft made, which is one of the bigger barriers because those are not cheap. So there you guys go. More Honda content is coming. Tell me what you guys want to see done to the Prelude. It's a fun little car. I'll link a bunch of videos and stuff that you guys can look at the Prelude and its history on this channel. If you guys want to see a picture of your car featured at the end of one of my videos, send a picture of it to me at cursforeverhelp@gmail.com. Follow me on Instagram, add me on Snapchat at BigB1011. We will see you guys in the next video. Peace out.